As the children journeyed deeper into the hidden cave, they knew that they were getting closer to their goal. They had faced and defeated the first guardian, a massive stone golem, but they still had a long way to go. Their quest to find the crystal had led them to this mysterious place, filled with ancient symbols and powerful magic. They had no idea what other dangers awaited them, but they were determined to press on. With their hearts filled with courage, the children ventured further into the darkness, wondering what new challenges would test their strength and resolve. What other guardians would stand in their way? And would they have what it takes to claim the crystal as their own? The Mystery of the Northern Lights. Era Jarvanen. Owlman Studio. Chapter 6. The Crystal. As the children explored the village, they realized that it was different from any other village they had seen before. The houses were made of colorful stones and had intricate designs carved into them. The villagers were dressed in colorful clothes and spoke in a language the children didn't understand. The children approached a group of villagers and tried to communicate with them, but they couldn't understand each other. Suddenly, an old woman appeared and spoke to them in a language they could understand. "Greetings, young ones," said the woman. "I am the village elder. Welcome to our village." "Thank you," said Greth. "We were hoping you could help us. We're looking for a crystal that disappeared, and we think it might be connected to this world." The elder's eyes widened in surprise. "A crystal, you say? That is a sacred object in our village. It has been passed down through generations, and we protect it with our lives." The children were intrigued. "Can you tell us more about the crystal?" asked Elsa. The elder nodded. "The crystal has the power to open portals to other worlds. It is said that it can only be used by those who possess pure hearts and strong wills. It has been passed down through our village for centuries, and we have always guarded it with our lives." The children exchanged a look. "That sounds like the crystal we've been looking for," said Greth. The elder looked at them thoughtfully. "If you are truly seeking the crystal, then I must warn you, the crystal is guarded by powerful magic, and only those who pass the tests of the guardians can claim it as their own." The children nodded, determined to continue their quest. "We'll do whatever it takes," said Leo. The elder smiled. "Then follow me," she said, leading them to a hidden cave in the mountains. As they entered the cave, the children could feel a strong magic presence. The walls were covered in ancient symbols, and the air was thick with an otherworldly energy. The elder led them to a chamber deep in the cave, where they saw a glowing crystal on a pedestal. Suddenly, the chamber was filled with blinding light, and the children found themselves facing 3 guardians, each one more formidable than the last. As the children stared up at the towering stone golem, they couldn't help but feel a sense of dread. Its massive fists were twice the size of their heads, and the ground shook with each of its heavy footsteps. Greth took a step forward, holding out his hand in a gesture of peace. But the golem didn't seem interested in talking. With a loud roar, it swung its fist at Greth, who barely managed to jump out of the way in time. "Watch out!" shouted Aino as she jumped behind a nearby rock to avoid being hit. The golem seemed relentless, chasing after the children and swinging its fists with deadly force. Leo tried to use his slingshot to hit the golem, but the stones just bounced harmlessly off its stony skin. The children realized they couldn't defeat the golem with force. They needed to outsmart it. As the golem continued to chase them, Greth tried to think of a plan. Suddenly, he remembered something he had read in a book about golems. "Wait. I remember reading that golems can be deactivated by removing the magical runes inscribed on their bodies." The children looked at each other, realizing that this might be their only chance. But the golem was getting closer and closer, and they knew they had to act fast. Leo bravely darted towards the golem, dodging its massive fists and looking for the runes. He finally found one on the golem's shoulder. glowing with a faint blue light. He took a deep breath and swung his slingshot, hitting the rune with a perfect shot. The rune shattered, and the golem immediately stopped moving. The children breathed a sigh of relief as the golem crumbled to pieces, its massive body turning into a pile of rubble. They had managed to defeat the first guardian, but they knew that there were more challenges ahead. "Good job, Leo," exclaimed Greth, patting him on the back. "We have to keep moving," said Ainio, looking around nervously. "Who knows what other guardians are waiting for us?" The children nodded, steeling themselves for whatever lay ahead. They knew that they had to be brave and clever if they wanted to uncover the secrets of the crystal and find their way back home. After a fierce battle, the children finally defeated the giant stone golem. They were battered and bruised, but they were also exhilarated by the victory. As they caught their breath, they looked around and realized that they were in a massive chamber with several other passageways leading off in different directions. Suddenly, the ground began to rumble, and the walls shook. They turned to see a massive door slowly creaking open, revealing a dark passage beyond. The children knew that they had to continue their journey, even though they didn't know what other dangers lay ahead. As they cautiously made their way through the dark passage, they could hear strange whispers and whispers echoing through the air. Suddenly, they saw a flickering light in the distance, and they rushed towards it. They found themselves in another chamber, this one even larger than the last, and in the center of the room stood the second guardian, a fearsome creature made of pure fire. Its body flickered and shimmered with an intense heat, and the air around it rippled with waves of distortion. The children knew that they were in for a tough battle, but they were also filled with determination. They had come too far to give up now. As they cautiously approached the guardian, they noticed something looming in the shadows beyond it. Something massive and dangerous that made their hearts race with fear. Thanks for listening to Chapter 6, The Crystal, from The Mystery of the Northern Lights by Eira Jarvanen, to continue the adventure, and listen to the next chapter for free. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow us on our social media links below for more updates and behind-the-scenes content. We can't wait to share more exciting stories with you.